In this video, I want to talk about drill bit sharpening. Drill bit sharpening is probably the most common thing you'll do in the shop. Once you understand how to grind lathe tools and you know what cutting clearance is, to sharpen a drill bit, it's not a lot different. With a drill bit though, you have a rotating tool, so there's going to be two sides of a tool that you'll have to make sure are exactly the same. So that's where making drill bit sharpening makes it a little bit harder. You have to use a special gauge to be checking the angle and the center of your drill. So this is a drill bit properly sharpened. It has two cutting edges, one on each side. So as it rotates, both cutting edges need to be exactly the same. The tip of the drill has to be exactly in the center of the drill. If the tip is off center, it will drill an oversized hole. So this is an example of a good drill. This one is not sharpened correctly. It has no tip to it, and the angle is wrong. It's flat across the top. It should have a point to it. So if we use this gauge on the good drill, you will see that the gauge tells the student grinding the tool whether or not the angle of the cutting edge is correct. So you'll see there that that fits up against the drill. It measures the angle, and you can give it a half a turn and check the other side. It also has these marks up on top. That's also measuring the center point of the drill. So this one shows to be at about 6. And we'll check the other side. It should be exactly the same. So if we check the bad drill, you can see the angle is completely wrong and there's no center point to it. So in today's demonstration, I'm going to show you how to grind this drill into a good drill. So one thing to remember whenever you approach a grinder and you're about to use it, make sure that the wheel is dressed true and clean and that tool rest is less than 1/8 of an inch away from the wheel. So always check that before you use the grinder. So when you're sharpening the drill, you want to make sure that you have that cutting lip level to the floor, and then the drill itself needs to be level to the floor. So that's the starting point when you're grinding a drill. Have the drill level and the cutting lip level. Then when I come up to the wheel, the angle that you're measuring with this gauge, you'll have to make sure that you're at that angle while you're grinding. So that angle is controlled by you, depending how you hold the drill. If you hold the drill straight to the wheel, you're going to have a flat drill. If you hold it way over here, it'll be two-pointed. So you have to find that exact angle where it meets the gauge. Now it's going to take a little practice to figure out where you need to be on that. So that's the way you approach the wheel. You want to make sure that you're on the center line of the wheel. You don't want to be above or below the center of the wheel either. You want to be right at the center of the wheel. So centered on the wheel, the cutting lip level and the drill level. Then you come up at the right angle. The only movement you have to make then is push the back of the drill down about 10 degrees. That's the only movement you need to make. Now to keep the tip in the center, if you grind, let's say 3 passes, 1, 2, 3, you want to flip the drill over right away and go 3 passes on this side. That's how you maintain the center point to be in the center. Once you start with it in the center, it's easy to keep it in the center. If you start with a drill that's off center, then you need to grind on the side that is shorter first until you get it centered. So let's start on that bad drill and we'll start grinding that one. So now this one here has the wrong angle, so I'm going to have to correct that angle. So I'm going to hold it at that 59-degree angle. The cutting lip is level and my drill is level to the floor. Now when I touch the wheel, I'm just going to go down. Down with the back of the drill. I'm going to do the other side. So there I'm at about 5.5. And on this side, I'm at about 5.5. My angle fits the gauge. The last thing you want to look for is that you have clearance. Remember, the cutting edge needs to be the highest point. So this is the cutting edge. That needs to be the highest point. Everything else should be about 10 degrees clearance behind it. Both sides need to have the same clearance. So that's how you sharpen a twist drill. It's a two-fluted tool, and you have to make sure that both cutting edges are the exact same length. You have to make sure that your tip is in the center and that the tip of your drill is at the right angle. The last thing you want to look for is to make sure that you have the cutting clearance behind the cutting edge. The cutting edge is the leading edge, and everything else should have the 10-degree clearance behind it. So now that you know how to sharpen drills, there should be no reason why we have dull drills in the shop. Everybody should be sharpening their drills when they're done using them and before they put them away.